Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Power Block.
Our
Well,
ancestors.
welcome to my block. I'm making some final adjustments here. I got a couple new features, and I'm sure they were riddled with technical difficulty, so I try to keep it. I'll try to limit the difficulties. You see, I got a mic now. Everyone hear me? Okay? Mic check. Mic check. Block, blocking a brand. Can't have that. Uh, How's everyone today? Mic check, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Mic check, mic check. I'm still waiting for everybody to roll in. I'm gonna go ahead and get things started. Just gotta shuffle some things around real quick because my monitor was not behaving the way I thought it should. Excuse me. All right, 1 minute here. Hope everyone had a good day. Uh, if you are in the Albany, Georgia area, that will be my next tour of duty uh, this week. I'll be in Albany, Georgia, uh, visiting servicers. Uh, so if you are in Albany, reach out to me. My phone number, email address are in the description. So feel free to reach out to your rep. All right, so today's show is basic dryer repairs. We talked about it last week, and so now this is part two. Part two of basic dryer repair. So let's get started. 1 minute. I lost my mouse. There we go. So if this is your first time on what's going on, evening, everybody hear me? Okay, great. The block. So welcome to the Power Block. You have me, Reggie Williams, your Encompass rep. The Power Block is 3 YouTube channels, one powerful block of appliance industry talk. It's so. Now let's go. If you still don't know who the block is, let's do some introductions, right? Uh, let's go to screen share Kung Fu. Screen share Kung Fu. So, first things first, if you do not have an Encompass account, if you are a servicer, you deserve to get your parts at a wholesale rate. Also, you get to leverage all the good things Encompass has. Number one, being the number one in parts volume, inventory, and diversity. Uh, Encompass is one of the most authorized servicers on the planet. But definitely stock loaded with parts. Encompass is so big. We actually you probably supply your local supply store that you go to. So safe, and we get to most of the country in 2 days. If you are in a state surrounded by one of our route houses, most likely we can get to you in one day. If you are in a state with one of our distribution centers in it, we'll get to you in one day. Go into the link and you'll find, if you go into the description, you go into the description and you will find a link that says hello sign, and that is where you go to sign up for an account, and this will pop up. Also, Encompass, we have virtual training. Our virtual training is done by the Oracle of Appliance Repair, Tim Burdick. Tim Burdick is a seasoned trainer. He does this for a living. He had a service company His dad's in the business, so he knows this stuff. So this is our training schedule, and I will. I gotta keep start putting this thing in the description. I keep forgetting. But I'm gonna put this into the comments right now. And so if you want to sign up for training, a virtual training, check out that link. Is in the comments there. And also, so how the block works is you got uh, my first. I'm heading off, right? I'm starting the block. Reggie, you're on Compass Rep, and then you go to Mona Sims at 7:30. Mona and Tim, SSG Appliance Academy. You go to www.ssgapplianceacademy.com to sign up for to sign your techs up or yourself for a 2-week basic hands-on training course. One's going on right now in the Encompass Warehouse Training Center, and also they have a Seal Systems class, and also get 10% off with code Encompass. So in the discount code box, put Encompass, and you get 10% off. Also, coming in Anchor. Running Anchor, Mike Sneed with Appliance Bootcamp. Appliance Bootcamp has a Facebook page, and also Mike does hands-on training and has has online content, excuse me. And not only does Mike teach you the business, he'll teach you the business as far as staying in business with his blueprint. The blueprint is your business strategy, and he has a multiple. He has a multiple. Sorry, I got distracted. He has a multiple strategy for keeping your business. And as you guys know, Mike Sneed is a serial entrepreneur, and so Mike definitely knows this stuff. And he even shows you what to do with your money you make from appliance repair. He has an ice cream shop, a whole bunch. So yeah, just go check him out. All right. Also, don't forget to join my Facebook group, Appliance Repair Community Network, supported by Encompass. So go on Facebook, put that in the search under groups, and join. All right. So that was Screen Share Kung Fu. So now let's get into the bread and butter. Let's get into what's up, Keys? Say hello. Sagaphonics, what's up? Untamed, what's going on? Arzu Inzu, what's going on? All right, so let's get into basic basic dryer repairs. Let's dig in. So in order to do so, and don't forget, if you don't have an Encompass account, you can look in the link and sign up for an Encompass account. If you have an Encompass account, you tried Encompass before and you had some issues, Encompass grows and grows better and better and better and better every day. So just don't forget LOYR. Lean on your rep. Lean on your rep. LOYR. My contact information is scrolling below. All right, so now we have to go back to Screen Share Kung Fu again. I keep meaning to put some like background music on, and I keep forgetting. Let's just share an entire screen. That will probably be best. So I'm going to toggle back and forth. All right. Sorry, I got to see my whole screen here. So we started last week with going over the fundamentals of. Okay, hang on, you can see that. Going over the fundamentals of appliance repair, dryer repair. Hang on, let me get my settings right. Sorry. Here we go. Excuse me. Hang on. Check my settings. Okay. And add to stream. Boom. All right. There we go. I lost it for a second there. All right. So last week we had started off talking about the fundamentals of how a dryer works, right? So a dryer has three basic principles: airflow, heat, drum rotation. Airflow, heat, drum rotation. In order to repair a dryer, you got to know how a dryer works, right? That's the key to anything in appliance repair. If you know how it works, you know how to fix it. So, oh, that's a little late on switching that one. Okay, airflow, heat, and drum rotation. So this is a small diagram on how the airflow works, right? So if you can see my mouse, the air basically comes from inside the dryer, right? So this little purple box represents, and again, this is a brief review of last week, so catch the last week video to see more in depth. But so you got the blower wheel. The blower wheel sucks the air out of the drum. Oh, got ahead of myself there. Hit the wrong button. Hang on. There we go. So the blower wheel sucks the air out of the drum, which actually comes from inside the cabinet and hits this little red square that represents your heating element up the duct into the dryer through the lint screen, through the blower wheel out of the house, right? And it's the out of the house part that really need to get dived into. So let's talk about ventilation real quick, right? So ventilation is key to airflow. Ventilation is key to airflow. So if you repair dryers, you gotta know ventilation. Most homes or apartments vent out through the side of the house, um, or you have some that vent through the roof. So let's talk about the roof. So the roof is one of the harder ones. So this picture to the left is the vent. Now you do not, in most cases, you do not have to get on the roof. So no, that's why you don't see appliance repair people with ladders and none of that stuff. So you're gonna have to go in the attic though, right? So if you live in the south in the summer, man, you might want to schedule your dryer repairs for early in the morning or late in the afternoon. Early in the morning actually would be the best time because then you got to worry about that heat up there. So also, and this is if you go up there. So if you are a technician, you work for a company, most likely because of liability, that company does not want you in the attic or the roof. But if you are a lone wolf and you decide you want to go the extra mile, um, then yeah, you might go through the roof to do a little air duct work, right? And that should be a separate charge because it's definitely a separate business. I know a lot of people, and when I had my company, I would outsource vent repairs because it takes a lot of time. It takes special equipment, and also if there's turns behind that wall, if you stick a stick in that thing in a vent brush, and that thing disconnects behind the wall, now you're separating drywall. Now you're breaking drywall to get in there. Um, so you're gonna have to remove this pipe. There's a screen in there that when it goes through the roof, there's a screen. That's what the last picture on the right is. There's a screen up there that can get clogged, and when that screen gets clogged, so as you know, heat carries moisture. But once it cools off, that it can no longer hold the water molecules and it falls, and you have water typically in the vents. So make sure that the screen, like the example here in the middle, there's no flap there. So you want a flap because you want that moisture coming in. Because without a flap, then you get this capillary action as you see on this diagram on the right. So definitely you want to be sure there's a flap. If you look on the left, a lot of times that picture on the left will be clogged with lint also, and many times there's no flap or the flap is halfway open, and you get moisture in there, capillary action. When that dryer runs, that sometimes that lint cakes up and it'll break loose, blow out, and clog this vent up, right? So as you know, heat will flow from warm to cold. So keep that in mind when it comes to. It's more of an electric thing, but keep that in mind when it comes to. Hang on 1 second. Repairs and how you get everything set up. All right, so let's dive in. Let's dive deeper. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can get out of here. And let me exit screen share Kung Fu while I clean this up real quick. Any questions? Let me look at the comments real quick. Paul Brown, what's going on, man? Paul Brown, the winner of the lacquering kit. What's up, man? This is why a dryer should be located in the middle of the home. Literally have to have over 20 feet of air duct work. This restraint. Yeah, I agree. It has to travel very far. All right, let's go back to screen share Kung Fu. Now, let's go into electric. First thing you do when you go into a home, let's screen share Kung Fu. Come on back. Let's get into wiring. All right. First thing you do is you unplug that dryer, right? But when you go to diagnose a dryer, you make sure you got enough power going into the dryer. I know a lot of us veterans out here I know we all have done it. You know, tore that dryer apart. You can't figure out why it's not getting heat, and you decide, oh, I didn't check the power. And you check the power, and you find out it's an actual issue with the circuit breaker and not the dryer. Right after fussing and cussing at that dryer. So you're gonna have a 4-prong or a 3-prong. Most newer homes will have the 4-prong outlet, right? And it's only these two. So anything different is usually set up for an oven, right? And how is that set up? So here is the diagram of a 3-prong and a 4-prong. So the difference is your 3-prong will automatically will be grounded directly to the machine. You'll either have like in GE, they have a copper strap. In most dryers, you'll just be a ground wire, and you connect that. And so your 2 leads on the side would be your power. You'll get 120 on each lead, on each side. 120 here, 120 here. Together, that's going to be 240. The 4-prong, which now you just have a neutral wire. So you got a neutral wire, which will be in the middle, and then you have a new ground. So let's dive into how that setup should look. Just like this. This is a 4-prong, right? And so the green wire coming from the wire is now ground. This dryer will automatically have this white wire here set up. So this white wire will be the ground wire for the machine. You need to unplug that white wire from this reception where the green wire is now. Unplug it and put it down because now it's the new neutral. You never, ever want to double ground, right? Never want to double ground because if you got another wire on here and there is a surge and that electric needs to ground out somewhere, not only will it hit the machine, but it may lead back through your whatever that wire leads to. So now let's go over to your 3-prong. I see you, Sean, dropping knowledge. I see you, Sean. So this is your three wire setup, your three prong setup here. As you see, the machine has a ground. This wire actually leads here, and so it's grounding out. And so that's why with a four prong, you do want to remove that and have a new ground, right? And this actually machine has two ground wires, looks like. But each ground definitely you don't want to put two grounds together. So this is what your three prong setup looks like. All right, and this is your wiring schematic. I'm not gonna go deep into this because this will be a whole nother show. But you'll be a little piece of paper and a lot of dryers, and this is what your schematic looks like. This will tell you what your thermistor is going to look like, what your thermistor will do, and how many ohms your thermistor should have. Test the thermistor, your drive motor, centrifugal switch. This has everything you need. So this is your diagram. So this is a whole nother lesson as far as learning how to do wiring diagram. That most schools have a whole day dedicated to doing that. So now, let's talk about the heating element. The heating element, when testing your element, right? So like it shows in that diagram, this heating element has fuses, as we spoke about last week. You got a fuse that regulates the heat. So it turns it on once it reaches a high temperature, and then, turns it on at a lower temperature until it heats up to a high temperature, turns off that heating element, right? And then that allows, and so that turns off, but it allows the temperature inside the drum to stay within a certain range. If you have clogged up air ducts, what happens is this heat is produced by electrical resistance. So it uses that. It uses that in most instances wasted heat, right? If you touch a wire that's hot, a lot of heat from wires is wasted electrical. So the inventor of the heating element, which I don't know who that is, use that to your advantage here and create a heat resistance using this metal of these coils. When testing your element, you want to test both of these leads here at the bottom for continuity, right? So you have continuity, but there's another test. You test each lead for grounding. So you put your voltmeter on one lead and the other voltmeter on the frame or something metal, something ground, and you should not have continuity. If you do, one of these coils probably broke and is touching metal. Now, if you're new, you might be like, well, it looks like they're on metal already. Nope. It is held together by these ceramic little pieces, right? The ceramic is non-conductive material. So it's suspended by those, not touching any metal, even though this whole thing looks like it's a bunch of metal. These should last a pretty good, I would say, in my personal opinion, it should last 8 to 10 years, right? Or more. Depends on the environment it's in. If you don't have good airflow, you get a lot of that humidity and hitting these coils. And again, I said oil and water never mix. Put lots of wear and tear on these coils. That fuse, turn it off and on, depending on how many times it has to do that based on the environment it's in. That will create outages of your heating coils. Timer, right? Now, if you don't know something new, Encompass now has 360 rotating pictures. Wasn't that cool? Timers. This particular timer has sometimes the connections on your timers inside these timers can have carbon buildup from arcing. So sometimes your connections inside your timers could go bad, and that can cause a no heat issue. So definitely using your schematics, know how to read your timers. We went over fuses last week, but this is a high limit fuse. This one is connected to the air duct. So I want to get into next week, on Thursday, I want to get into, and I'm going to use Samsung dryers, right? So I want to get into these dryer belt tensioners, right? In which Samsung did a great job of fixing that. 'Cause now this thing has a ball bearing on it, which is the first time I've ever seen that. That's pretty nice. Instead of having sliding metal, I want to get into that. I want to get into thermistor. I'm gonna get into blower housing. So y'all come back on Thursday, and we're gonna get into. So this is the fuse that controls the heating element. This particular run keeps that temperature of that element between 260 degrees um, Fahrenheit and has a 50-degree range. Degree Fahrenheit range. Um, and also, I'm gonna get into. I call these shotgun elements, but they're called tube elements. We're gonna get into that too. So that's my time for today. Appreciate everyone coming to the block. I do have a B Cave and Rocky shout out. What's going on? Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Why does the timer run when placed on setting, but unit has been started? Why does a timer run when placed on a setting, but the unit hasn't been started? Oh, so that is the timer motor engaged. But if it hasn't, so some dryers it will still tick down with nothing without any if it's on time dry. This is certain. That's not normal. That does happen from time to time. If the timer motor is still going, you still hear a ticking. That's like the older whirlpools, I think, do that. So from your experience through electrical dry, I'm gonna hang out and answer questions. If you want to go over to Moni and Tim in the middle, go to my Linktree description in my description and go over to Mona Sims, and don't forget to LOYR.
Lean on your rep.
Lean on your rep. From your experience, do electrical dryers wear out faster than gas dryers, or is it vice versa? See, with gas dryers, it's the coils and igniters that go bad. So I would give them a tie. Probably statistically speaking, electric dryers probably go out more, but I think because more of them has been sold. I'm a fan of the gas dryer. I feel like it's the next best thing to hanging your clothes outside. If I could, I'd hang my clothes outside. I'd hang all my clothes outside. Your clothes last longer. They're fresh, crisp. They're nice and warm from the sun. Maybe I shake out a couple of bugs or two, but you know. BK and Rocky said, "Yep, I just dealt with that on a newer dryer recently. It kept ticking even though the dryer wasn't on." Yeah, so that's just the timer. So if you got any questions, feel free to still put them in the description. I will, even when we log off, I will be able to answer questions. Y'all come back Thursday, man, and we're going to wrap up basic dryer repairs. I will try to get an early start, try to get some of the intro stuff done out the way fast so we can actually spend more time on the actual content. So I apologize for that. Definitely come back on Thursday, 6:45. And don't forget to LOYR.
Lean on your rep.
Lean on your rep. See y'all Thursday.